I know this one is late. I was supposed to arrived already, but busy, 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 busy as always. Got a lot of things to discuss today with you guys. A lot of things to unpack. A lot of things to unravel. Rather, I should say. We have a few videos that I want to play as well, and all of that. But remember the content that I did with you guys the other day, Joshua. Remember the content that I did with you guys the other day in regards of that lady in the UK around that abortion law. And now, remember I said to you guys that we're not sure if you have the right to your body when it comes to a woman, when it comes to the abortion law. Remember I said so? Well, this is a situation where the whole world is looking. A lot of people are disgusted. A lot of people are disturbed. But most likely, there's a law that put in place for all of these things. So before we get into content, how are you guys? Hope everything is well with you. Tuesday already, almost the beginning of the week, almost weekend again. Time waits for no one. That's why you gotta make it to the best of your ability. And enjoy yourself. Okay. Don't idle out your time because an idle mind is the devil playground. And always continue pushing because every day it's a different day. And today we're here and tomorrow we're gone. So hope your day is going on well or your morning, and hope the rest of the week come out to be a very great week for you all. Okay. So rambling on, running on, let's get into the content because I know I'm late. I'm supposed to come on earlier, the time that you guys are used to, but I just started now. So let's get on to the content since I am late. Okay. I know you said hi. I said hello, Joshua. I did say hello. I guess you didn't hear me, but I said hello. And I even said, how are you? Okay, so let's get on to the content. Pregnant U.S. woman declared brain dead is being kept alive under state abortion law. Let that sit with you for a second. Let that sit with you for a second. The lady is brain dead. Okay? The lady is brain dead. So let's get on with the content, all right? A pregnant woman in Georgia was declared brain dead after a medical emergency, and doctors have kept her on life support for 3 months so far to allow enough time for the baby to be born and comply with the Georgia strict anti-abortion law, family member say. She could be kept in that state for months more. The case is the latest consequences after abortion bans introduced in some states since the U.S. Supreme Court in 2022 overturned national abortion rights afforded by historic Roe v. Wade ruling. And Adriana Smith, a 30-year-old mother and nurse, was declared brain dead, meaning she's legally dead. In February, her mother, April Newkirk, told Atlanta TV station WXIA. Newkirk said her daughter had intense headaches more than 3 months ago and went to Atlanta's Northside Hospital, where she received medication and was released. The next morning, her boyfriend woke to her gasping for air and called 911. Emory University Hospital determined she had blood clots in her brain and she was declared brain dead. Newkirk said Smith was now 21 weeks pregnant. Removing breathing tubes and other life-saving devices would probably kill the fetus. Northside did not respond to a request for comment on Thursday. Emory Healthcare said it could not comment on an individual case because of privacy rules, but released a statement saying it uses consensus from clinical experts, medical literature, and legal guidance to support our providers as they make individualized treatment recommendations in compliance with the Georgia's abortion laws and all other applicable laws. Our top priorities continue to be safety and well-being of the patients we serve. Smith family says Imora doctors have told them they are not allowed to stop or remove the devices that are keeping her breathing because state law bans abortion after cardiac activity can be detected in the fetus, generally around 6 weeks into pregnancy. The law was adopted in 2019 but not enforced until after Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2022, Dobbs versus Jackson, Women's Health Organization, ruling opening the door to state abortions bans. 12 states are enforcing bans on abortion at all stages of pregnancy, and three others have bans, such as Georgia, the kick in other, and after about 6 weeks. Like the others, Georgia ban includes an exception if an abortion is necessary to maintain the woman's life. Smith family, including her 5-year-old son, still visit her in the hospital. Newkirk told WXIA that doctors told the family that the fetus has fluid on the brain and that they are concerned about his health. She's pregnant with my grandson, but he may be blind, may not be able to walk, maybe not survive once he's born. Newkirk says she has not said whether the family wants Smith removed from life support. Monica Simpson, the executive director of Sister Song, the lead plaintiff in a lawsuit challenging Georgia's abortion law, said the situation was problematic. Her family deserved the right to have decision-making power about her medical decision, Simpson said in a statement. Instead, they have endured over 90 days of re-traumatization, expensive medical costs, and cruelty of being unable to resolve and move towards healing. So what do you guys think, folks? Do you guys think it's right to keep a medical declared brain dead woman on life support for her baby to be born, for her to deliver the baby, which I'm sure they're going to do a C-section with this one because she's brain dead? How she's going to push? Oh, Father God, I say, oh. So this is what's happening, guys, and I had to come and shout out this content. Remember, we spoke about abortion situation in the UK where the lady was 26 weeks. The law in UK was from 0 to 24 weeks in the hospital and 10 weeks, 0 to 10 weeks at home abortion. And she did a 20 weeks abortion at home. And then she ended up having the baby end up coming out in the toilet, and then she ended up wrapped up the baby in a handkerchief or a kerchief rather, and then end up she brought the baby to the hospital in a backpack. Did you guys remember that content that I dropped? I hope you guys are watching the content. Okay, so that's the story. Okay, so I want for you guys to hear from the family, so to speak. The family has concerns. The family is like, why are you guys doing this? The public out here has a lot to say as well. But like I shouted in the past, and I said to you guys, rather, that you don't really have a right to your body. Not at all. Okay? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Right? Okay? Remember I said that. All right? So, we want to see. I'm just trying to get the content where the family has an issue with this whole situation, and you can't blame them because they find it ungodly. They don't want their family members, they don't want her basically to be like that in that kind of stage. They said it's basically costly, so I'm not sure if the hospital is going to charge them with all of this bill for all of this situation, what's happening right now. So I don't know if you guys heard about this situation, where brain dead pregnant woman is being kept alive to deliver the baby, so to speak. So I had to say, okay, guys, I'm late with the content, okay, but I had to come and still come to drop a content because basically, at the end of the day, all right. So pregnant woman declared brain dead, like I said, and they're keeping her alive and Georgia's law, under Georgia abortion law. So we need to get to it. So listen for yourself, guys.
30-year-old Adriana Smith was about 9 weeks pregnant when she started having bad headaches in February.
Enough to know that something was wrong.
April Newkirk says her daughter went to Northside Hospital for help.
They gave her some medication, but they didn't do any tests. They didn't do any CT scans. If they did, they would have caught it.
The next morning, Adriana's boyfriend noticed something was terribly wrong.
She was gasping for air in her sleep, gargling. More than likely, it was blood. She was taken to Emory, Decatur, and then she was transferred here
to Emory University Hospital, where Adriana worked as an RN. Unfortunately, there was nothing doctors could do.
They did a CT scan and she had blood clots all in her head. So they had asked me if they could do a procedure to relieve them, and I said yes. And then they called me back and they said that they couldn't do it.
Doctors declared Adriana brain dead.
I feel as if somebody dropped the ball at the hospitals, and her boyfriend asked, please keep her. If she was kept at the hospital, we wouldn't be here.
Because of Georgia's heartbeat bill, which bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected, her family says they weren't given any say in what happens next.
It's torture for me. I come here and I see my daughter breathing by the ventilator, but she's not there. And I'm touching her. And she has a son who I bring to see her.
Now, 21 weeks pregnant, her baby's health uncertain.
She's pregnant with my grandson, but my grandson may be blind, may not be able to walk, wheelchair bound. We don't know if he'll live once she has him.
A situation she says no one should be forced into.
It should have been left up to the family because I'm in my 50s, her dad is in his 50s, so we're going to have the responsibility with her partner to raise her sons, And I'm not saying that we would have chose to terminate her pregnancy. What I'm saying is we should have had a choice. We should have had a choice.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
So you think if you're brain dead, you should have a choice? Your family member should have a choice? That if you're pregnant, to terminate the baby and take you off life support? You think that's right? Or you think it's a choice that you have your say with your own body? It's your body and you want to do anything with your body. You think so? There's rules and laws that prevent you from doing all kind of things to your body if you didn't know that. So remember, I said to you guys again, from the last content I did with the lady in England, that you really don't have the right when it comes to your body. In some cases, in some scenarios, okay? And in some situations like now, all right? In the past also, activists also came out and they have a lot to say about the situation as well, okay? They're saying basically this is not a good look, and stuff like that. And remember, I said to you guys that a lot of people have mixed feelings and stuff like that about a lot of things. So let's drop this one. Calls for the law to change. They're basically saying they want the law to change. This is ungodly, yada, yada, yada. Let's get into this one, okay? I'm just trying. I'm trying not to get a copyright strike. So if you guys don't see the video play right away, at times when you play something, the video the commercial comes right. I mean, at times the commercial come right away, and you don't want to you don't want to get a copyright strike. So you gotta be mindful. So that's why more time the videos don't play right away for me, because I have to take out the commercial or put you guys on mute, I should say, at times. just for the commercial not to go. So this one has a lot of commercials, so I'm still waiting for it to finish out. And I just make sure they kind of turn it down so you guys can hear it, because that would be a copyright strike, okay? So here we go.
Advocates say that they're heartbroken by a story first shared right here on 11 Alive.
That's right. So Adriana Smith's family says that she is brain dead right now. But due to Georgia's abortion law, they've had no say as doctors try to keep her body functioning long enough to deliver her baby. 11 Alive's Molly Oaks spoke with one organization calling for change.
It's a case bringing lots of questions.
Listen.
Honestly, we are still just in awe that this is something that is actually happening here in the state of Georgia.
Adriana Smith is about 21 weeks pregnant at Emory University Hospital, where doctors declared her brain dead. Because of Georgia's heartbeat law, which bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected, she's being kept alive in hopes of doctors delivering her baby. And her family says they weren't given any say in what happens next.
My grandson may be blind, may not be able to walk, wheelchair bound. We don't know if he'll live once she has him. And I'm not saying that we would have chose to terminate her pregnancy. What I'm saying is we should have had a choice.
My heart sank to the ground. I immediately thought of her family. I immediately thought about, how difficult it would be for her child that is already here to have to deal with this. Like, my heart just went out for all of those who are directly connected to her in her everyday life.
Monica Simpson is the executive director of Sister Song, a group that advocates for reproductive rights. She says what the Smith family is going through highlights the barriers built by this law.
And so now we are seeing a combination of factors here in this story that is making it so difficult for this family not only to navigate, but to also be able to get to a place where they can actually get to the healing that they deserve.
Saying this just adds more fuel to their fight.
The longer this ban is in place, the more people are going to lose their lives, the more people are going to be impacted by this. And this only continues to give us more energy to keep fighting for what we know is right.
Molly Oak, 11 Alive News.
So that's from the last story I get, I'm going to repeat myself, that stemmed from the UK lady situation, that where she was charged, where she terminated the pregnancy. And they found her not guilty the other day, where I came with the verdict or the conclusion. All right? Or the ending of the story, right? Now we reach to the situation where she's brain dead, okay? And she's early out in her pregnancy, but they're still keeping her on life support until she has that unborn child because of that Georgia law. So do you really have the right to your body? No, you don't. In many situations, in this scenario, in this situation, okay? So don't think because you own yourself, you think you have the right to do a lot of things to yourself. No, you don't. Don't you think in this many country, first world country, because you're the parent of your children, you think you own them. Don't you think at the end of the day when you get sick and you have medical situation, don't you think for once that it's only your family member will take care of you? The court could come in and jump in like the Wendy Williams situation and have a guardian that don't look like her and a guardian who never ever been in her circle looking after her right now. You see what they did to Wendy Williams. It's the court did that. And she owned her own person. So I guess you guys don't know, many laws have been changed for the longest time. And we're out here playing around with our lives, playing around and don't know that there's situations have stipulations. There's situations out here that we have no say, where I can't say nothing when it comes to, like the abortion law, this law, all right? Our freedom, our rights can be taken just like that when it comes to this abortion law. Even walking in public with underneath these many cameras out here. Everywhere you go, there's cameras. Back in the days, if you have a camera, you have to put a sign, "Hi, you're on camera," to warn the public. If not, people could have sued back then. Now everybody has camera. Window camera, all kind of camera right through. Every day, all right. I'm not saying you don't need camera, but I'm just putting that in just a play, like, just putting that just for conversation, right? But there's a lot of laws have been passed, and a lot of us are not paying attention. And maybe one day, perhaps one day, that can be your demise. And perhaps that could be one day one of your friend or family member end up underneath one of these law and rules and regulation that are being passed every day. And we in the black community so busy in baga, so busy in killing, so busy in all kind of different things that has nothing to do with our lives at times. Because it's not bringing us forward or backward, up, mostly down. And we're not paying attention to some of these laws that are going to be in effect when it comes to our grandparents that pass on all of these things that they did and gone to affect we, the parents, till we're going to turn grandparents, till our children, and so on. And as you guys can see, in the mostly culture nowadays days, people are not having that much children. You hear in the Caribbean they're saying having children. You hear in the first world they're saying people are not having enough children. Dogs are taking over basically, because people have 3-4 dogs and don't have no children. People have a big home, nice stuff, no children. Not adopting any either. Okay? So all of these kind of things. So that's what I'm saying. So we have the right to our bodies? The answer becomes nope. I don't think so, because she's brain dead. Although she can't make any decision because she's brain dead, but then she has her significant other, right? And then she has her mom, okay? So what happened? And then we see the Wendy Williams situation where they say, hey, her son was young. He was young and dumb, spent most of her money. And then they made sure that they got rid of that husband, because from the husband cheat, or black women don't forget, when there's lots of black women forgive and forget, like a big mogul out here, the Bob Marley. How many children did he have on Rita? And Rita always remained the wife. How many other people? I'm just putting all those kind of situations, not to shade or anything, but I'm just saying there's so much people that take on that role, that man, this and that. I'm not saying you should do it. I wouldn't do it. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? And they make sure they got rid of the husband, because once you get rid of the husband, then the child, who's supposed to be her little guardian, her next of kin to the father, to reap everything, they make sure that they say, okay, they get rid of him. And then the family members, the mom, the dad, the sisters, the aunts, and everybody, they make sure to say, oh, well, you guys cannot talk. And now she has a guardian. That could happen to your child. Not because you are the mother of your children. You have children, aides will come and take away your children and be the guardian. And once they're crown ward, you can't talk. You only have visitation rights if you're careful, if you go through all their nonsense that they tell you to go through. So how come we're not paying attention to most of these laws and rules and regulations that have been changing for the very long time and the longest time, and we're not coming to talk about it? So we don't have the right to our bodies, even when you're brain dead, even when you're in medical distress. Okay? So I had to come out and talk about that content. And if you're coming in the live, the content is about a brain dead lady, a brain dead nurse that went to the hospital, was having headaches. They gave her medication, they sent her home. According to her mother, they did no test, no CT scan, nothing at all, allegedly. Okay, because I wasn't there. That's from the mother, and I'm dropping this content, so allegedly. Okay, and she went home, and the next day or in the middle of the night, her boyfriend or significant other saw that she was breathing, having difficulty breathing. And then after that, they brought her to the hospital. They called the ambulance. The girlfriend was brain dead, medically declared. When they did all of that tests, after the brain dead, she's pregnant. So how you just give somebody this medication and send you home? But remember, we said from day one, allegedly, a lot of times when black folks go to the hospital, they claim allegedly doesn't work out good for us. We came and spoke about the situation where a sister went to the hospital looking for help, seeking help, and she ended up on the roof, dead, frozen to death. We heard about lots of these stories. We also hear about lots of stories where lots of black sisters go to the hospital, have their baby, and end up dying in child's birth. High rate happening now everywhere as we talk about it all the time, whether it's in the Caribbean, whether it's in the first world country, and all of these things. These things been happening for a while. Okay? And because of many of these laws as well, if you're in a high risk pregnancy at times, sometimes you end up dying because the abortion law that are in place, if you don't know. Okay? So I don't think I need to come and talk about this too much more. But right now as we speak, guys, a brain dead woman. Fetus has heartbeat. Okay? And all of that. Okay? So we want to go to the update of the situation at the unborn situation, and let's get into it for a second. And we're gonna run on with the live because I gotta go.
New developments right now in the case of a pregnant woman being kept alive on life support. 11 Alive first told you about Adriana Smith last week. She went to the hospital 8 weeks into her pregnancy, complaining of a headache, and just hours later, doctors declared her brain dead. It's a story that's making headlines all around the globe, sparking debates over Georgia's heartbeat law.
Tonight, our Cody Alcorn spoke exclusively with Smith's mother again about the emotional toll of this pregnancy, and she says the state left them no choice but to continue. He's live now from Emory University Hospital in Midtown. Cody, we know this is a situation that has really been taxing for this family.
It really has, Jennifer and Ron. Adriana was moved here to Emory Midtown on Tuesday. She's expected to remain on life support through August when doctors plan to deliver her baby by C-section.
Yes, I told you it was C-section.
30-year-old Adriana Smith is 22 weeks pregnant.
She's not there.
No, sir.
She's not there.
You're here. So do you have the right to your womb? Do you have the right to your womb? Do you have the right to your womb? No, you don't. Because let me give you a next scenario. You could be pregnant, and you don't really know. And you've been smoking up and drinking. And then when you go to some of these family members that more time don't, allegedly, children names will be called. That you neglect the fetus. By the time you're ready to have that baby, children age is right there. Yeah? So we got to be mindful out here. So do you have the right to your womb? The way I see it, no, we don't. Let's continue. Update, please and thanks.
She's there.
April Newkirk says her daughter was declared brain dead on February 19th. Adriana was 8 weeks pregnant.
We wanted to know if she was to abort, would she have a chance at her life? And
this is the mom.
There was no chance or no hope.
In Georgia, the state's heartbeat law bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected.
So at that point,
and remember I said there was a new law that passed. Remember I came with that law? Remember I told you every time you guys come over, there's always laws that I'm trying to fill you guys in and open you guys and widen you guys' horizon. Open you guys' mind. There's laws passing every day passing the black community, and we're not hearing, we're not seeing, and most likely we're going to end up underneath that law one of these days. Okay? Because these laws are in place not to put on dogs, but to put on human beings. That's us, right? Okay? So at the end of the day, when you think about it, I'm lost for words. Let me just continue to play the video. Seriously, let me just continue to play the video, okay? Not gonna bother.
We continued with the pregnancy that we didn't have a choice or a say about. And I just want to be clear on something. We want her to have her baby. We want her life to continue throughout her children. But at the same time, to see her lay there like that, for that length of time, the grieving process for us, it can't even start. Because every time we go, we grieve and we hurt. And it's just unreal. It's unreal for anyone to go through this.
April says they named her daughter's baby Chance.
Because to me, he's getting a second chance.
Despite his mom's condition,
the baby is the right weight, a little bit over, which is a good sign. He has his legs, his toes, his limbs. Heartbeat is good and strong. It's just maybe because of the loss of consciousness with my daughter, the lack of oxygen that the
Yes.
baby didn't get. So that's where the cerebellum comes into place.
Yeah, his head is
Baby
going to be a
Chance's
little bit
future
smaller and
is still
stuff.
uncertain.
Could you imagine, guys? Could you imagine? So remember the law that we spoke about in the previous situation of the abortion law in UK where the lady ended up being locked up and they found her not guilty, that I came and spoke about? Remember that law? Remember I said that there's a law that once you conceive, you consider a human being. Remember that content that I came and spoke about? Okay? So we don't really have rights to our bodies, guys. Sorry to say. So let's finish this up, please and thanks.
The journey is for baby Chance to survive and in whatever condition God allows him to come here in, we're going to love him just the same. And we're going to embrace him.
Adriana does have a 7-year-old son. His name is Chase, and he has no idea what is happening. He still thinks his mom is just asleep. Now, as you mentioned, this whole case has sparked a conversation. It has sparked debate about the gray areas of the state.
Of the state Georgia law. Okay, guys? All right? So I just had to come and tell you guys that I just had to come and shout that, guys, and tell you guys all of that. Imagine all of that. All right? So what do you guys think? You guys think it's right for her to be kept alive? To have that baby? Should the baby have a right as well? That's what it becomes, you know. That's what it boils down to. Does the baby have a right as well? They're basically telling you that the baby has a right as well. Because the baby is a fetus. There's heartbeat. The baby is a human. So the baby has his right. Just like how she has her right of a citizen of Georgia, the baby have a right to be a citizen of Georgia. Although the baby can't talk at this time, although we don't see the baby. The baby is a fetus and the baby has a heartbeat. So he has a right or she has a right. Could you imagine? So I had to come and shout when it comes to this content clearly that this is what's happening right now. We're in 2025 and we don't really have rights to our bodies. Okay, guys? So let's move on quickly and swiftly. All right? We want to talk about some more stuff, like many other things that we want to talk about today. Okay? You guys know when I come, I try to give you guys an hour of a content. You know, I was late this morning, but yeah, okay. A lot of times, you know, I'm not going to come the same time like I said. So that's why I always tell you guys every time to turn on your notification bell because you never know when I come on. I could come on anytime to leave you guys with the content for the day. All right? So rumbling on, guys. Let's talk about some other things and get into the content, okay? So Tuesday. Hope your day is well. It's a little bit chilly outside for me, but for you, maybe you like it. Not chilly for me, but outside is a little bit chilly. Consider that it's a spring almost boiling down to be summertime, right? Because you know this weekend is going to be a weekend that you're supposed to start planting up all your good things in your garden and stuff like that. So when it's so cold outside like now, you'll be like, oh my God, what's happening? What's really happening? What's really happening? What's really happening? Right? So that's why I'm saying it's a little bit chilly outside and it's not really good the way I see it, all of that, because at the end of the day, blah, you know, it's not a good look for your plant and stuff. So we were talking about this content here, you know, it's a situation where the whole world is watching, the whole world is looking, and the whole world is saying, Mama Mia, Mama, we don't really have the rights to our bodies the way we see it. And, you know, a lot of people are talking, Mom, and family members are saying, you know, that is not fair. We should at least have a choice to deal with that situation when it comes to the pregnancy and all of that. Okay, so all of that, okay. Now we want to get into some other things, right? So now we want to get to let's talk about some things. Okay, okay, so let's get into this one. All right, so a New Hampshire sheriff who resigned after he was accused of stealing 19,000 county funds was sentenced Monday to 3.5 to 7 years in prison on perjury charges. Could you imagine that you're supposed to be trusted by the public? You are the sheriff. You're supposed to have some kind of honesty about you. And you end up underneath the bus of stealing $19,000. 3.5 years to 7 years in prison. You know, and all of these in a pre-jury trial and pre-jury charges and all of these kind of things. Okay, so I'm just saying, and then the prosecutor had asked for 7 to 14 years. Okay, so I guess maybe he dodged a couple bullets, but at the end of the day, now, was that money worth it to damage your career? Now you're not going to be a sheriff anymore. You're going to have a criminal record. You're doing time and all of that. So money is the root of all evil. So at the end of the day, I don't think it was really worth it, because now the whole life basically gone down to the drain. Not only that, guys, not mentioning the lawyer fee to get this deal. Oh my. So Black Brother has fallen, really fallen, and can't get up. Seriously. Moving on. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so moving on, guys. Moving on. We want to also talk about Trump administration agrees to pay nearly $5 million to settle suit over Ashli Babbitt shooting in the Capitol. So I don't know if you guys heard about this situation. Go and look it up. Okay, this basically, remember there was a inside U.S. Capitol during the woman fatally shot by the police. Remember the mother of Ashli Babbitt, the woman fatally shot by police inside the U.S. Capitol June January 6, 2021. And remember the riot joined the protesters. Remember that situation? Well, Trump administration agrees to pay nearly $5 million to settle suit over Ashli, okay, Babbitt shooting in the Capitol. Okay, so I had to come and shout out that, because at the end of the day, more time, he's the president, so you really don't hear more time what he pays out or what he does, because he's always doing some things. And at the end of the day, what can we say? Okay, we also want to talk about this situation here, where this cult situation, the Ontario school with the history of abuse linked to US based cult. Some kind of secret school secrets are coming out. Lots of the victims them are talking about it. So we're gonna get into that and dive into that another time and unpack that another time. So I'm only shouting out that. If you have watched it already, big up. If you haven't, well, we will unpack it over here and unravel it and wonder about what happened, like ooh, and all of those good things. When it comes to that content in another time, when I come around again to drop another content, so to speak. Now we want to also get to let's get to a little bit actually no, let's get to one minute. Actually, yeah, let's get to this situation here. Okay, so I don't know if you guys knew, a jury has found a former Rhode Island high school basketball coach not guilty of second-degree child molestation and second-degree sexual assault after he spent decades asking girls if they were this and that and to take off their clothes. If you guys never heard about this case, this man is not guilty, but we never heard about it. We never heard about this situation at all. And look how grievous this one is. We never heard about this situation. But look how grievous that one is, guys. So I had to come out and shout and say, hey, guys, really and truly, did you guys hear about this situation? Did you guys hear about this court case? Did you guys hear about this basketball coach? Not at all. Not at not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Didn't hear about it, because why would they talk about it? But if everybody else, the whole world would be shining about it. Okay, guys, running on with the content, because remember, I'm only giving you guys an hour, so we have about 20 minutes to go with the rest of the content. Let's get to sports for a second. Let's talk about this. Okay, so former Olympic wrestling gold medalist Kyle Snyder pleaded guilty Monday to a lesser charge of disorderly conduct after being arrested in prostitution ring. Say who now? Prostitution ring. Say what now? Prostitution ring. Say who now? Kyle Snyder, the Olympic wrestler, gold medalist. Yeah, you. Yeah, we. Over yasso with the content and the topics. Seriously. Running on, guys. Running on. Running on. Running on. Running on. Not dragging out this content today. Okay, moving from there, guys, we also want to talk about right here. Let's get to music. Let's get to rap crap. Chart topping French rapper We're Noi dies age 31. French media report that award-winning artist suffered heart attack and died in hospital early on Saturday morning. So young, gone too soon, guys. All right, so I had to come out and shout out that and all of that that's happening right now. Okay, guys, that is sold. Rest in peace. 31 died from heart attack already. Oh my God. Then from there, guys, we want to drop here actually, and we want to get to here, right here. Salt and Pepper sue chord label to reclaim rights to their recordings, including Push It. Okay, so Salt and Pepper had some situation where it's right here. You know, Salt and Pepper are telling their record label not to push it as they fight for the rights to their music. The groundbreaking duo behind hip hop classic, including 1993 Shoobadu, Shoobadu, Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And 1987 Push It say in a lawsuit from the Universal Music Group is violating copyright law by refusing to agree to turn over the rights to their master recordings. Mostly hip hop stars and R&B stars are crying that these people allegedly can't turn over all of these things, and they're being robbed and all of these things. Allegedly, we saw with the Angie Stone situation, then she ended up dying. We saw with most of these people, and if not, they end up under sexual assault where they're locked up and everybody else gone with their rights. We saw it with the Prince. We saw it with the Michael Jackson. We see it so much in the industry. I always shout out why. In other words, in French, pourquoi. Seriously. Anyways, let's continue. All right. Shirley Salt, James, and Sandra Pepper. Okay, the lawsuit was filed in federal court, New York, on Monday, asserting that the Copyright Act of 1976, which blah, 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 that after several decades, artists can terminate previous agreements and reclaim ownership after recordings clearly now applies to them. So they want the rights to their music, Salt and Pepper. Guys, if you never really hear about Salt and Pepper, where have they been? Where have they been? Where are they? Where have they been? Where are they? Where are thou? So we have to shout, okay? So all of those good things in one, all right? Wrapping up this content, running on, okay? And then what else we want to talk about here? And all of that. Now, from there, we're going to get to yeah, yahoo, yeah, Kanye West. Ye's upcoming South Korea concert concealed due to recent controversies. Oh, cancel. Don't want you. You're too controversial. I don't want you, Kanye West. Don't come. It seems like the whole world is shutting out this poor boy Kanye West. Seems like the whole world don't have time for him because he's always under too much controversial. They said that he talks too much because all of this rhetoric, the in battle rap vision has been wrapped up in various controversies over the course of the last few months as he spewed anti-Semitic, anti-LGBT rhetoric on his social media platforms. Ye claimed that his controversial Hail Hitler song was banned from all digital streaming platform, attempting to release the track earlier this month. Hail Hitler by he has been banned by all digital streaming platforms. Ye wrote an ex while calling out the double standard he sees in streaming censorship. While Rednecks by Randy Newman remains streamable, they're literally keeping the ends down. West's last interview saw him storm off appearance of Piers Morgan and Censor Show earlier in May. Within minutes of sitting down, you're not gonna take inches off my D, bro, the Chicago native said before he left. Does have to shout. Can you imagine? Oh no. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, guys. Anyways, and all of that, Kanye West find himself in, guys. Like, Kanye West cannot give himself a break with all the shenanigans, I should shout. Okay? All of that. All right? Then this one here, right here, okay, we want to talk about the far right anti-Islam activist Stephen Yackley Lennon, also known as Tabby Robinson, is due to be released from prison 4 months early. His 18-month sentence for contempt of court was reduced after hearing at the High Court on Tuesday. Yaxel Lennox was jailed last October because he ignored an order not to repeat false allegation about the Syrian refugee who successfully sued him for liability. His lawyer told the court he had since shown a commitment to comply with the order. Mr. Justice Johnson granted the application to have sentence reduced because Yaxley Lennon had shown a change of attitude since he was sentenced. So if you never heard about that, now all refugees you can play with, they have rights too, I suppose. Should I shout? Okay, so rumbling on, wrapping up this live, we have some more things to discuss. So remember I said to you guys that I wasn't going to come and talk about the hockey players anymore, but guys, we found out some sinister stuff, and we get to understand that majority of them in the group went off to get big contracts and all of those things. We also get to understand that there was text messages towards the girl about what to say to the police and for her to go and retract her story to the police. So if something never really happened sinister, and if everything was really that she wanted it, then why was all of those text messages happening and all of that? So we're gonna dive into that for a little bit. But since Kanye West got in trouble for the LGBTQ situation and all of that, let's talk about how the new Pope now says that marriage is supposed to be between man and woman, and now the LGBTQ has a problem with that, and they're having a meltdown. So let's get to the Pope for a second. So the Pope and the LGBTQ is not seeing eye to eye. Die. When we know in the history back then, allegedly, in the Catholic priest situation with all the molestation that happened with the boys. Remember that story? Allegedly. Until now, nobody haven't been locked up. Whoever dead with all their sins and their sorrows. And whoever out here still suffering with their pain and sufferers of molestation and no accountability. But everybody else falling in the bus, lock me up, clunk, clang. So let's get to the Pope and the LGBTQ versus Pope Leo.
Pope Leo XIV was inaugurated with a ceremony in Rome over the weekend, which saw global leaders come together to mark the momentous occasion. The appointment of Pope Leo XIV sees a return to the Catholic Church's roots. The new Pope confirmed in a meeting with the Vatican diplomatic corps that the family is founded on the stable union between a man and a woman.
Ouch.
This position is a far cry from the former Pope's blessing of LGBTQIA plus relationships, which is sending liberal Catholics into a tailspin.
I'm a little concerned about this choice for the LGBTQ plus community. In 2012, he gave an address to bishops, and he lamented the popular culture fostered and sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel, and that's a quote. And then he cited the homosexual lifestyle and alternative families comprised of same-sex partners and their adopted children. I think that Pope Francis certainly made great changes in terms of embracing the LGBTQ plus community and extending blessings to the community. And I hope that this is that this Pope doesn't roll back.
But I'm gonna give him come to that in his time.
As well as being against gay marriage, Pope Leo reaffirmed the church's stance on abortion, saying that the unborn and elderly enjoy dignity as God's creatures. Liberal online commentators blasted the Pope for his views, with this person saying,
so what did I say? So the Pope Leo said, woman and man, please and thank you. I know abortion, please, like we said earlier, that you don't really have a right to your body, including the Pope. Oh no, let's run on. So from there, guys, we want to talk about some more about the hockey player situation. We find out some detail that is sinister and dark, and we decide to go and talk about it. Now, before we get there, we want to shout out this. Guys, we want to shout out this as well. All right? Remember I said to you guys, this what happened basically. With the situation of Ashley Babbitt, and she won. I also want to shout out this. The Lion King is up and running from August 30th on. Go and bring your children out. We watch it. It was very nice. The only thing is you cannot really record it that much other than the ending. They don't want you to record it that much, okay? But it's really nice. It's a little bit expensive, but it's a good family event for the children. They will talk about it for the rest of their life. It's a very good show. Go and see it. I was there with my children. It's a good musical, I should say, rather. So go and see it right here, the Lion King musical, because I was there and it's on my page. So go and see it. And I'm telling you, it was very nice. It was worth it. It's a little bit expensive on that side if you don't really have it. But as a family event, it's good to bring your children to those things. All right. So that's one event. It's good. What's one event off my list? That is good to go, and I went, okay, and all of that. And also the circus, the water circus is also in town. So check out those things for your children, all right? Running on, rapping on, running on, rapping on, rumbling on. Tuesday, make it Tuesday, make it a good day, all right, and everything else. Now running on to the last content to bring us to a little bit of an hour and little bit, okay? Hockey Canada scandal. So remember I said to you guys that it's a long haul. The story was from 2000 and so 18, wrapping up in 2025. Now, one judge situation on that trial. There was text messages that shared between hockey players and all of this right here. Did you go to the police after Sunday? I talked to my mom, blah, 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 blah. These are some of the text messages that was shared between the hockey players and the victim, so to speak. We want to get into it. We're not going to drag it out, but I want to get to it so you guys can hear for yourself how sinister and disturbing that is. Not only that, we get to understand that some of these team players end up going to get big contracts already. We also get to understand in this whole situation, it's been lots of payout for sexual assault in Hockey Canada, and nobody knows about it, and nobody hear about this as industry. Nobody care about it to even come and shout. And we heard about so much money that has been paid out because of accusation and sexual assault situation, and never really went to court other than civil court and lawsuit court paid out. So if Diddy is on the news and everybody else is on the news, then why this is not our front news talking about? Because why? Why is that? What's the difference? What's the difference? You can tell me in the comment section, or you can discuss it toward yourself or others who's watching the content, who you share this content with. So let's get into it. Not going to drag it out. I'm going to just go to a certain part that I want you guys to listen, okay? Let's get into it.
This story contains graphic.
Ended up here at Jack's Pub.
Listen.
Through legal documents filed with the Superior Court, interviews, and text messages to and from some of those involved.
Listen.
It provides a glimpse of what unfolded next. Jack's is London's go-to place for cheap drinks and a dance floor packed with late teens and 20-somethings. Candid pictures from that night in 2018 still remain on Jack's Facebook page to this day. But it wasn't the usual crowd drinking dollar beers, because they were rubbing shoulders that night with the world champions from a team that would soon have NHL contracts worth about $300 million.
How much was this privileged kids contract? $300 million. So when the police realized that, when everybody realized that, that's why it takes so long for them to be charged. What did I say from day one? They're privileged. But when you say that, no, you hear that I'm being racism and I'm spewing racism. I knew it. Privileged children. Privilege. So that's why the charges took so long. That's why this case took so long to be highlighted. That's why this case is not even being highlighted, because these are powerful people and we got to be mindful. Let's continue.
What happened next would eventually make its way to Rick Westhead,
Listen.
senior correspondent for the sports network TSN.
Listen.
How did you first become involved? I was working in Serbia this spring on a story leading up to the World Cup this fall. And somebody communicated with me that I needed to look into a lawsuit that had been filed in London that had escaped any attention. When I was in possession of that lawsuit, realized what a huge story and horrible allegation this was.
Listen.
The plaintiff in that lawsuit is a 24-year-old woman known in these documents as EM. The defendants are hockey players identified as John Doe's number 1 through 8.
The lawsuit alleges that 8 players sexually assaulted this woman. Some or all of whom, it's not specific, were members of Canada's 2018 World Juniors team, which won gold 6 months before the event.
The details in the files at the Superior Court on Dundas Street in London are still largely unknown to the Canadian public. But may well reverberate throughout the hockey world for years.
Listen.
The statement of claim asks for $3.5 million in damages for what EM says happened to her after she arrived at Jack's at about 11 p.m. with some work friends. Soon, she says, she was introduced to John Doe number 1. The following is taken from the lawsuit. She alleges that
So we're not going to drag it out. We want to get to the text message part, okay? So let's get to the text message a little bit more, and then there's a text message, and let's get to it for a second, okay? I believe the text message starts from, just a second, start from here, okay?
Back and forth.
Listen.
Where the player is encouraging this woman to go to the police and say, this was consensual, I don't want to go any further with this.
Listen.
The Fifth Estate has obtained a copy of that exchange of texts.
Listen.
Did you go to the police after Sunday? The player wrote. I talked to my mom about it, and she called, I think, but I told her not to.
The text
I
messages,
don't want anything bad to come of it, so I told her to stop, the woman wrote. You said you were having fun, the player wrote. I was really drunk, didn't feel good about it at all after. But I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble. I know I was in the wrong too, the woman wrote. I was okay with going home with you. It was everyone else afterwards that I wasn't expecting. I just felt like I was being made fun of and taken advantage of, the woman wrote. I understand that you're embarrassed about what happened, but you need to talk to your mother right now and straighten things out with the police before this goes too far. This is a serious matter that she is misrepresenting and could have significant implications for a lot of people, including you, the player wrote. At one time he says, tell your mother, basically to shut up, to get out of this.
Yep.
Because it could have consequences for a lot of people.
Could you imagine, guys?
You.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I think, there's no
overt threat in those text messages, but I really took issue with the comment that this could have a lot of consequences for a lot of people, and then it ends with including you.
Listen.
The player texts her over several hours
Several
until she
hours
says she's going
pressuring
to
her.
withdraw the complaint.
Allegedly.
I appreciate that you're going to put an end to this. I know this must not be easy for you to have to call the police and say this was a mistake.
You're there.
Have you thought about what you were going to say to them? The player wrote. Then, later, hey, just wondering what's happening. Told them I'm not going to pursue it any farther and that it was a mistake. You should be good now, so hopefully nothing more comes of it.
Listen.
Sorry again for the misunderstanding, the woman wrote.
You're there.
I appreciate you telling the truth. Thank you. All the best, the player wrote. But in fact, by the end of that week, EM made an official complaint to the London police.
By that Friday, she's being interviewed by a detective. She's off to hospital, do a rape kit. She, days later, provides her clothes she wore that evening into evidence. She meets with the officers and speaks with them a number of times over that summer of 2018.
During that investigation, a lawyer for one of the players accused of sexual assault went to the police with the texts and with videos they'd taken of EM. TSN's Rick Westhead is one of few who've seen those videos.
Listen, what's in the video? Listen.
The videos you were shown. Describe them, please.
Well, one of the videos was about 6 seconds in length. It was very grainy. It was clear that it had been shot on a cell phone.
Listen.
And the video showed a woman, and she was being asked if it was okay, and she said, it's okay. And that was it. And then the second video was longer, and it was about 12 seconds long, and it looked as if it was in a hotel room. And the woman was shown sort of from here up with a bath towel around her and asked someone if she was being filmed, and if so, why she was being filmed.
You're there.
And said that everything was fine and that she was, and this was her words, she was too sober to do this right now.
Did you get the sense that there were others around? Could you tell that?
You couldn't tell, you couldn't see others around, you could hear them.
And isn't it against the law to film somebody nude without their consent? Oh my. Let's continue. Anyways, we want to take out that part. We want to hear from another guy who heard about the tape somewhat. There was another lady that was raped as well, and she didn't talk about it. We're going to forward that. She moved on with her life anyway. But there was a different guy right here. I think it's here. There was a different guy that heard that they said that it's lamb to slaughter or lamb to meat or some story about when they saw her, all of that. But we're not going to drag it out because, you know, when it comes to copyright strike, we don't really want a copyright strike. But I'm sure you guys got the drift. So text message between the players and her for over 7 hours, trying to pressure her for her to take back all of that allegation towards the police. Obviously, nothing never happened from 2018. Now we're right now in 2025, where now they're in court and we're going to see the outcome with the one judge trial. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I know I came late and all of that, but my bad, you know, I was really busy and, you know, family comes first, okay? So let's rumble on with the live. Thank you for watching, guys. I really, really appreciate it, okay? Happy anniversary to a very special couple who's out there having love for each other and continue to love each other and embrace each other. Big up yourself and have a wonderful day when you end up on this content, when you get a time to watch this content, because most of you guys are already at work and all of that, okay? A big up to those who always watch your content and come out fairly all the time and watch your content no matter what time it is, okay? I appreciate you. Thank you very much, all right? Okay, guys, a big thank you for those who always hear and watch the content, whether or not it's not your time, it's not your say, it's not your take, but you still watch it anyway. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Big respect for those who've been here from a little bit of people till sometimes a lot of people and sometimes not a lot of people. I respect you as well. Thank you for watching. Okay, and for those who are having a happy birthday, Have a happy birthday. One more year on them. Enjoy your nice self. Have fun, but take it easy because you want to see another year around the sun. Okay, guys? And all of that and all of that and all of that. And to the people in my life who make me smile, love me, and support me and bring me joy, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And for everybody who always come on with the content, I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so when I come live, you'll be the first one to join or know that I'm around. Okay? And for everybody else, peace and love.